All right, I'm here with Jennifer Grandjean. Hey, Jen, how are you?
I'm great. How are you, Jen?
Good. So I wanted to bring you on. So you're a real estate agent in Oregon and Washington, and you've created teams, and you've done this at a couple of different brokerages. So I know a lot of agents out there are thinking about, I want to create a team, but how do I know who's the right team member? So what are your tips for hiring potential and interviewing potential team members?
That's a fabulous question and topic, and really quick background, just so that you
Yeah.
know where I'm from. So I started in real estate on a large, successful, mega agent team with Keller Williams,
Mhm.
and I started at the bottom. I was an admin assistant. Then 3 months later moved to listing specialist. So I was the co-list on all of our company's listings. So that kind of really threw
That
me in
was
the fire.
fast.
Very fast. I learned very quickly what to do and what not to do. And then from there, there was a split in the team, and I became operations manager for a smaller boutique type brokerage. So I was responsible for hiring, training, building systems and processes and things like that.
Mhm.
And then from there, I moved to be a team agent on that team. So that was my first jump into just sole, 1099 commission income. And then I moved that team as a solo agent back to Keller Williams. And then the next year I made my first hire a year later, and then started building my team after that. And
Nice.
then I made so just really quickly, I've been at all levels, and solo on a team, employed, all of the above within the real estate
Oh my gosh,
industry.
how
So,
many people do you think that you've interviewed? How many, like,
oh god,
for real estate? Oh my God.
lots of people. I've just seen so many agents come and go. I mean, both agents, but also, on the administrative side too,
Mhm.
because I hire for those things as well. So I've seen a lot of people come and go. And
But that's the
so,
nature of our industry, right? But I think like I don't know, is it kind of two pronged? It's like it's one, the nature of the industry, but it's also the nature of like us real estate agents. We are salespeople. Like we love everyone. And so we just think the best of everyone. And it's like, and
yes.
that will lead to you hiring the wrong people.
Yes, and I've done all of the above. I mean, even in the short time that, I've grown a team, I've, hired the wrong person. I've waited too long to let go of, certain people, and everything in between.
Yeah.
So, I think I'm immune to that. No one does it perfectly that I know of, out of the gate.
Right.
But the age old advice of be slow to hire, quick to fire, that is, I mean, I should have taken that advice multiple times, but it's hard, like you said, as salespeople, and people pleasers, like you
Yeah.
you want it to work, and you might really really like somebody, but they're just not a good fit for the team.
Mhm.
And so it's so much easier to not hire that person,
Yeah.
let them go, either not even hire them or let them go within the first couple months, rather than waiting and thinking, oh, maybe this will work out,
It
let's just
won't.
keep trying. You wait, the worse it gets, because you're more connected and you're tied and you build relationships.
Mhm.
So I firsthand, know about that and how hard that is. So definitely, my that would be probably my biggest advice is slow to hire, quick to fire. So and making sure that you have the right people on the bus. And the first thing that's more important than their competence or even skill set would be the cultural fit.
Mhm.
Um, so really, diving deep into, who that person is, and asking questions that maybe reveal what their values are. So if
Do you
someone's
have an example of like what a question would be?
yeah, so maybe asking them, not just like the strengths and weaknesses things are, but like maybe asking them about a situation at a prior job that really bothered them, or
Mm.
was there something that a boss or a coworker did that that really, like, or so stuff like that, or like, and then how did you handle that, like what did you do, when
Mhm.
you were super bothered, or do you tend to withdraw? Do you tend to confront, and kind of figuring out those things? And sure, is everyone going to put their best foot forward? Yes. And then
Yeah.
your relationship, people are going to, try and paint as pretty of a picture as possible. But that's why I think multiple interviews is important. And I think it's also important to have at least one other person that talks to any interviewee
Mhm.
so that they vibe and a feel too. Because sometimes we as salespeople go into something thinking we know or are, right about something, but then
Right.
someone else says, oh, like I got a weird vibe.
Yeah. Oh, hi.
um, so anyway, I think those are some things that are really important to do as far as, making sure that that
It's okay.
that they
It's a
have
realtor
a
in training right there.
real life work from life. Um, so yeah, is just what are their core values, and so figuring out what's important to them and seeing if that lines up with yours. So you have to know what yours are, like what are your non-negotiables,
Right.
and asking them that too. What are your non-negotiables? Is that like, and you can even give them some examples of yours first,
Mhm.
and then that kind of helps them. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. So for example, maybe a non-negotiable for you is being late. If
Mhm.
someone's late,
Oh,
like that can rub people the wrong way. That certain team leaders that's like, you cannot be late to things, whereas other team leaders, it's like, meh, they're always fashionably late, right? So getting to know those nuances about people will really help you in the long run, I think.
that makes sense. And I think we all like inherently know our core values, right? But it's like really figuring out and writing them down. And I like your idea of like asking about situations because that will reveal more about them and how they reacted versus like what they
Mhm.
say.
Yes. Another question too that a coach of mine gave me is asking, how's life going for you, or how's business going for you, and seeing and how's it going for you lately, and seeing what someone's response is. It seems like a very easy, nonchalant question,
Mhm.
but listening to things like, do they have a victim mentality,
Mhm.
or they take responsibility for their life?
Mhm.
Because some, it's like, well, my previous job, like this was wrong, and that person, if they talk about everything that's external, right, that
Mhm.
they,
Mhm.
wrong in their life, to me that's a red flag.
Yeah, of course. Like that's
Versus
not
if,
gonna work.
they're like, hey, and it's like, it's okay for you to be, we all go through rough patches, so it's okay to admit if, oh, hey, like life has been really tough, but like I know that I need to do XYZ, or I can do this to change, or so just listening to, do they take responsibility for their own life and their own actions, because that's a big one.
What do you think about like if you're interviewing for like sales versus operations or different positions? I feel like there's going to be different personality types in that. So how do you like is that true? And like how do you adjust? I mean, I know you still want like this the core values to be the same, but I feel like they're going to show up differently or something, right? Or
No, and that's a mistake that salespeople often make. Is that, so for example, if they're hiring, let's say you're a salesperson, you're a high I, on the disc profile, let's say, but you're talking to somebody that's high SC, you're not probably gonna jive, or you're like your speed is gonna be a lot faster than theirs, and you're gonna be a lot more bubbly and lively than they are. But that doesn't mean that's the wrong fit. So as a salesperson, as the team leader, you have to know, okay, it's okay that someone's personality type is different, or that their strengths are different than yours. So a lot of salespeople just try and hire people like them because that's the people you naturally like.
but you don't want somebody like you.
An admin position. So that's something to kind of keep in mind as well. So I use the disc profile. I think it's, there's lots of personality tests. There's the Myers-Briggs. That's a little bit more in depth.
Mhm.
I like that too, but the disc profile is easy, online. It's free to go
It's a
take.
base.
Yes, it's a base, and it's like most people and especially in our world, know about it and
Mhm.
understand it.
Mhm.
So I have every person on our team take that, prior to hire, say, hey, go take this. And especially if you're hiring for an admin type position, I'm very specific about, did they follow exactly the instructions I gave them? Did I
Right.
tell them to email resume, or send it to me, over Instagram? Or did I tell them, did I tell them to take the disc test and email me this portion or that, and just making sure they're following directions. And if they don't, that's a red flag. Even though if a salesperson didn't follow all my directions, that wouldn't be a red flag for me.
Right.
Because I don't want you to be a detail person necessarily. Doesn't mean you can't be. Just that's not a red flag for a salesperson, but for an admin, it is. So really understanding, for whatever position you're hiring for, understanding what their personality profile should look like and what their strengths should be for that specific job position.
Yeah. And I'm hearing too, or what I'm like pulling in from this is really like writing down what specifically you're looking for. Because like, I'm thinking like when I hire, that's really because I get excited, and I imagine a lot of other salespeople do. And like you said, we hire to the potential, right? But if you write it down, like all the core values that you're looking for, like, did they demonstrate that? Did they follow the directions? I mean, it's a very yes or no question. It takes kind of that emotion out of it. So as a salesperson doing the hiring, it becomes a lot clearer.
Yes. Yep. And that's where, in the beginning, you can weed out a lot by just being really clear about what you're looking for. And that's why, before hiring, and if you know exactly what you're looking for, the core values plus the personality type plus the the skill set and all of that, when you look at that batch of resumes, for example, or just even the process of going through that, you can weed out a lot of people.
Yeah.
And save yourself a lot and the other people a lot of heartbreak.
Yeah. Right.
Out. So.
No, exactly. So I guess I have two final questions. One, what is a good policy, do you think, because we want to be liked, but if we know they're not a good fit, how do we be like, sorry?
About that conversation. Yeah, I don't know that anyone likes having those conversations. So it's never easy, no matter how many times you've had to do it. But I think, something that I've learned, because I tend to be, more on the people pleaser side. I don't want someone to be upset and things like that. But the more direct you can be, but also fair and giving people the opportunity. So something that I have not, or that I've messed up on in the past, is not being really clear and giving multiple opportunities and like building my case, right? For the eventual like parting of ways. You don't want to be the reason why someone feels blindsided. I would say. So having regular meetings with your salespeople and your admin, and having a check-in of what's going well, what needs to be improved, and so that way, and so if you have a system and a process for following up and staying in communication with your team, then that's going to help you build that case and be like, hey, look, Susie, the last 2 months, every week, the thing that I've been asking you to work on, it's not getting any better. What's the problem? Is there something else that I can do better to help you get there? And so the more communicative you can be about that and very clear about what you're not okay with, then when you sit down and have the ultimate conversation of like, look, Susie, now it's been 3 months and I've given you lots of opportunities to get better at this thing that is just not improving. And I don't think this is a good fit because I don't know what else to do, or
like, whatever
seems, yeah. Or even saying it seems like you're not happy here. Is that the case? And kind of asking them questions. And sometimes the other person will self-discover and they'll ask themselves, so.
Well, that'll happen. They'll see it coming, right? If you're like, help. Yeah. And then the last question, we have a big debate on Real Estate Fight Club. Which hire is the best first hire?
Yes. To me, that's an admin. That's an admin hire.
Team Mertland. I love it.
Yes. So, and the thing is because the admin hire alleviates you from doing all of the non-money making activities.
Duh.
That, I mean,
if you hire a salesperson, then who's going to be doing that? You're going to have more sales theoretically. Yeah. I don't know.
I guess I get it, because as a salesperson, it's like, yeah, if you start to have too many leads and you can follow up with, right, you feel like that's the position you need. But you personally will be able to do more deals if you have an admin doing they're important tasks, but they're not money making. They're not lead generation tasks. So, yep, I would definitely say admin.
Yeah, the gens stick together. So I know that I know you're working on a course. Tell us about it.
Yes. So I just released my Slay Your First Year in Real Estate course. Super excited about it. I've been working on it for a while. And it's basically for people, either whether you're just starting or maybe you're a few years into the industry and you just haven't really gotten the hang of things. You're not getting consistent business. This is a perfect course for you. It's going to talk about the foundations of getting started in real estate, goal planning, how to lead generate, what strategies to use, and then also how to handle both buyers and sellers. So it's just a really great, I think, just general course for people that are new in the business.
Nice. So if people want to learn more about the course, or if they have a referral for you in Oregon or Washington, or they're interested in like working with you, maybe on your team or whatever, what is the best way to get a hold of you?
Absolutely. So on social media, you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Estate of Jen. So that's ESTATE of Jen with 2 N's. And then, so you can DM me there. My website is also estateofjen.com. And on my website, you can find my course link right there, my blog, you can sign up for my newsletter. So that's a great place. Or if you want to email me, feel free to at Jennifer@GrandGroupRealty.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being on. That was really helpful.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.